Mr. Ash Maui, you just answered a question that raised alarm bells in my mind. You don't drive. You were asked, the question is, was your license and he didn't say it this way, but was it suspended? And your response was that you don't drive. As a former criminal defense attorney, let me get there because I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm just trying to get the facts. That would indicate to me multiple driving under the influence charges. So can you just explain that to me? Have you had more than one? We've heard about the one driving under the influence. Have you had more than one driving under the influence charge?
I've had no other instances.
So you're not legally prohibited from driving, but you have chosen not to because of where you live and because of circumstances related to your alcoholism.
And because of the syncope that Congressman
Murphy talked about, sure.
Also. I have a family. I don't want to put them at risk. God forbid I'm behind the wheel and I pass out. That would do tremendous harm to anyone in the car, let alone.
As long as it's not court-related,
No,
I care, but I don't, it's not part of my questioning today. Mr. Vinovich, you all looked at the transgressions, the one transgression during the fight incident using the official email or stationery or whatever, and you looked into the alcohol situation, and you all decided that it was worth not pursuing any further. I'm correct in restating that, am I not?
Sure, yes.
Okay. So then that raises the issue of congressmen. Now, I've always feared substance abuse, so I don't use substances, alcohol or anything else, except caffeine. Love my caffeine. That being said, would it be appropriate then to excuse some inadvertent, inappropriate use of congressional stationery or assets or doing something that maybe you didn't realize was a breach, as Mr. Ashwami said at the beginning in his opening? He didn't realize that doing that was a breach of the ethics, but probably is. Would you take that into consideration for a member who has significant substance abuse issues? And I'm thinking of a particular member who's since gotten himself cleaned up, but his congressional career is at least gone for the time being. But does that come into play as to whether or not you would refer to the Ethics Committee? Because you gave Mr. Ashmawi a pass. Why wouldn't you give a member of Congress a pass?
I'll say a couple things about that. So the chairman introduced, again, this was.
Well, I'm just asking, why wouldn't that require you, if you're being playing fair, wouldn't that require you to give a member of Congress a pass if there was a clear issue related to alcoholism or other substance abuse?
Yeah, but I don't think the email and the alcoholism are related, but I'll answer it this way. Do we, if we're looking at a complaint, do we sometimes choose not to refer because we regard something as a de minimis violation? The answer to that is yes.
Okay. Now, let me go to another situation here that I thought was interesting in the confidentiality issues. It says, if the board, I'm looking at the confidentiality disclosure stuff off of y'all's website. If the board recommends dismissal and the committee also votes to dismiss the matter, the report does not have to be made public. Well, shouldn't that be the decision of the accused? If it's dismissed and not moving forward, shouldn't that be the decision, as opposed to does not have to be, shouldn't that be the decision of the accused whether it's released to the public?
Well, it's just, I mean, that's just, the rules speak to what we do. I suppose if the subject receives.
It shouldn't say it should not be released. I mean, I would think it should say it should not be released unless released by the accused, because it says it may not have to be. Well, it shouldn't be, because you've got people's careers on the line here and people who've worked hard to have their reputation in the community. Sounds like to me if it's not founded, it shouldn't be released. Let's go to confidentiality further. In 2015, Politico magazine wrote a story about how the OCE leaked a confidential report to the Washington Post and Politico. Politico magazine wrote that they leaked the report because the Ethics Committee told them to cease the investigation, refer the matter to the Ethics Committee instead, something that was within the Ethics Committee's power to do. Mr. Ashwami, what did your investigation show? Who was the leaker?
So that matter was independently investigated. It was determined that no one on staff was responsible for the release of that report. But however, as I mentioned.
Well, who released it?
I could
And
not,
why did Politico falsely accuse you all of releasing it?
I can't answer that either. I can simply say that there was no evidence that it was improperly.
Have you ever found anybody who released information that was confidential before it was supposed to be released?
Not by our office, no.
You've never investigated, or if you've never found, your investigations have never found a leaker? Because I'm telling you, many members of Congress believe that your office leaks information, like a sieve.
I can honestly tell you, sir, that we do not and never have.
So Politico was just plain wrong. Their sources were wrong.
I can tell you it was not our office.
Does OCE have subpoena power?
We do not.
Then why do you, it's my understanding from several sources that you all have told witnesses that you will have to subpoena them if they don't answer the questions.
We definitely have not done that because we have no authority to do that.
So if somebody has told me that, they're also in error.
What may have been told to them, which is accurate, is that if they do not cooperate with our review, a recommendation can be made to the Committee on Ethics that the Committee on Ethics subpoena them in the related matter. That is something.
So if I find witnesses who say that that has happened, you will take disciplinary action against the staffer? Yes or no?
Well, I don't think it's.
I didn't say you had to terminate him, I'm saying disciplinary action.
I would bring it up to the board and we would investigate it, but I can.
Which
tell
you never find anything, I yield back.